Yes, 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 yes. What's up, everybody? Back on the channel, how it all works. We have a very exciting discussion set up for everybody today. We got a panel of battle-tested, the tried and true folks who have been in the trenches and know this live stream thing backwards and forwards. I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were asking me, what makes you and the panel that you've assembled experts to talk about live streaming? I was like, well, because we gave ourselves permission to be experts. Honestly, are you inquisitive enough? Are you curious enough? Do you watch enough YouTube? No, I'm just joking. I'm joking, but I'm kind of not. But the point being is, what we're going to do is have a discussion around live stream. We're going to try and break down the myths, try to talk about the technical piece just a little bit, but we're also going to talk about how does it best fit in the organization? How do you do it in a way that's meaningful, impactful, but also how do you put together a quality production, a quality production. And so without any further ado, we're going to bring in our panel of distinguished guests, and they are from one coast to the other. We've got the South represented, we've got Northeast represented, we've got the West represented, BT. But BT, man, you've been kind of all over. I mean, you've been to where? Ohio, and then Florida, and now you're out West. So he's an all-arounder. He's all arounder. So this is a moment where we're gonna give you guys an opportunity to share the stream on social media. And if you have not already, we want you to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be having discussions like this one fairly regularly. I want to say every week, but we'll see. It just depends on how quickly we can get some of these panels together. But we do have a rather interesting panel set up for next week. So today we're going to be talking about live streaming, and we're going to be breaking down all the different components. Next week's live show is going to be touching on photographer's delight, and we got a panel for that show that is star-studded as well, so that's going to be fun. We want this to be interactive, so we want you to be in the comments as well. If you see somebody on screen that you are here to support, shout them out, let them know. You know what I'm saying? Kyle Davis is here, Horane Henry is here, Bryant Taylor, Gary Saunders, Rohann Wellington. If you're in the comments and you see your people on screen, shout them out, and do that now. All right, so we're going to take a moment and kind of go around the room, if I can say room, digital room, and allow everybody to introduce themselves. And we're going to start with Kyle Davis. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thanks, Kirk. Appreciate it. I'm Kyle. I've been doing streaming for a few years, and currently on the production staff for Oakwood University Church.
All right. Kyle is right here in Huntsville, Alabama with me. And we've had a chance to work together on some rather interesting projects. Some that went phenomenally well, and others that fall into a different category.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Kyle, man, appreciate you coming through. One of the things that I want to say about Kyle is that he's much more comfortable behind the scenes. This is first time I was actually surprised when he said yes, but he is super technical. I mean, down to we were doing some fiber channel. I mean, this guy helped me figure it out. So Kyle is that guy. So I'm glad to have him here. Next up, we want to have Horane introduce himself. Come on, bro. Let's hear it.
Hey everyone, my name is Horane Henry.
Yep.
Based in New Jersey. Been doing streaming for maybe 15 years, well, on the TV side and internet. So yeah, just happy to be here with this wonderful panel of very smart people on here. So I'm honored to be chosen, Kirk.
Man, Horane is being way too humble.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And that's okay. That's okay. We get that. We get that. We get that. We know that you want to be humble. But Horane and the crew there in New Jersey at Metro SDA just pulled off, or just completed. Let me not say pulled off, because when God is in it, it's not luck, right? I mean, when God is in it, we know that we have an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
But him and his crew there just completed a virtual concert that will be the standard for virtual concerts for the next little bit, because man,
Yes,
I'm telling you, you
yes,
guys
Nah, bro.
really
Don't
raised
even
the
watch.
bar.
yes.
I
It,
mean,
it, it was awesome.
it was
Oh,
phenomenal.
thank you.
It was phenomenal. We got some folks asking, what is the link for us to share? It's howitallworks.com, and works is spelled with an E. Howitallworks.com, and works is spelled with an E. Bryant Taylor, come on, man. Let's tell them where you're from. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm BT. I'm here on the West Coast, and
West Coast.
yeah, I'm currently serving as pastor of media and worship at Azure Hills.
Okay.
Been communication and IT director for a couple of conferences. Work with community services at times and Adventist community, different things. Probably the biggest thing that people may know me from is from the Society of Adventist Communicators. I normally do a thing for Tech Talk every convention.
Yes, I remember those tech talks. Used to do way back in the day. Used to do them with Chip Desard, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And guess who's going to be on our photography panel next week? That's right, Damien Chip Desard is going to be on
Nice,
here. So
nice,
we'll have some
nice.
fun. We'll have some fun. The man, myth, legend. He's got the Praise Vision T-shirt, and he's got the stories to tell, some of the scars to prove it. Come on, brother Saunders, let's hear it, man. Minister
How you
Saunders,
doing?
let's hear it,
Legend
sir.
How you
himself,
do?
man. Legend
How you
himself.
doing, guys? I'm Gary. I've
The
been doing
man.
stream. I've been doing streaming. Can you let me finish my spiel? My day job is is a comedian. My night job is a streaming engineer. I've been doing streaming for probably over. It's been a long time. It's probably about 20 years or 20 years plus. You know, started with Windows Media, now all the way up to WebRTC. So, for those who understand what I'm talking about, that's geek speak. But been doing it for a pretty long time. I'm the media director of a couple of churches. Mount Vernon is one of them. The other one is the First Cathedral up in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I'm just a geek. That's really what it is. I mean, I like stuff. I like quality, and I like to make things work.
Right.
Behind the scenes, very behind the scenes kind of dude. So this is probably my third one of these I've ever done.
We
Period.
we need you to do more.
I
I'm
don't know
with
about
Gary,
all
yo.
that,
I don't
man.
like being in front of the camera.
Yeah,
Yep.
the geeks, man.
I just want to make it work.
My little girl was asking me, "What is Daddy? What does that sign mean on your shirt?" I was like, "It says pie." Okay, that might be too geek. I mean, maybe I left her out there too far. All right, now the elder statesman.
Oh, come on,
Anchor,
man.
Ooh,
anchor,
Allman.
anchor. The anchor.
No,
I
man.
didn't mean it like that. I mean, you guys know I spent time in Africa.
Y'all aging me or something, man.
When somebody from Africa says elder, we don't mean age. We mean wisdom, okay? But brother Wellington, brother pastor, chaplain, doctor Wellington,
Oh,
let's
man.
hear it, sir. And on this, and you know, as you're watching this at the barbecue, at the COVID barbecue, right? From Memorial Day, family, everybody that's out there, we want to say a word of affirmation to those who have put on the uniform and fight to make our right to be able to live the way that we do possible. And Rohann is one who has served as well in a capacity as chaplain. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Chaplain with the United States Air Force. And today, on Memorial Day, before I say anything about myself, I too want to join in just saying thank you for your service to the family who have sacrificed and allowed their loved ones to serve and have given up the ultimate, paid the ultimate price. And we say thank you for enduring with them and with us for a better America. And for those who are serving, we say thank you for your service.
Yes, indeed.
Now, uh, I was supposed to go put on my uniform and to do a prayer today, but it's like We just want to say it in officially, since I'm online for everybody in that service. Thank you. All right. So for me now, in terms of what I do, I I have been in media for a long time. Television started out in radio back in the 90s as a DJ, and
Come on,
uh,
DJ.
yeah, for the Christian side, not like Gary. Okay, that was on.
Shots fired.
Listen, listen.
Listen,
I love my Beanie Man and Bounty Killer, so whatever.
we're gonna have to touch on that. We're gonna have to,
Yeah, Gary was waiting for the sun to set the other day, but
you may have to put it down a
no.
little
So I've been in media, and and then I've served the last 13 or 14 years now for the Atlantic Union as Atlantic Union Adventist Media Manager, and been doing live streams. And a lot of the success of what we do is with this guy right here, Gary Saunders. Is a part of the team, and he works behind. And he will tell you, we have the longest working relationship for years, both of us
Yeah, that's
together.
facts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great guy. And this guy can get me behind anywhere. I just have any technical issues. I say, Gary, let's resort it. Hardworking guy. So I'm happy to be a part of this team. I manage, produce, direct television. I'm a technical director, editor, kind of a.
yeah.
I do it all if I can.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And we're so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you on the panel. One of the things I want to say right as we start out is every person you're seeing on screen today and the organization that they do live stream or production or broadcast for, they represent a team. They're not here by themselves. They're not here saying that everything that they do is something they do on their own. So one of the tips that we want you to walk away with right at the outset is you need a team. It's not a one-man show. It's not a one-man show. And people are going to have different varying levels of expertise. And they're going to have their thing that they know very well, and there's other things that they don't. And in that team framework, you can build out a much more well-rounded team as some bring their strengths and fill in where others are weak. And I think everybody would agree that, yeah, we do tip our hats to the teams that we represent. Myself at the Bridge SDA here in Huntsville, Alabama, and the team that I work with there at the church. We are a small fellowship and had to very quickly turn things around and go online when the pandemic kind of broke out and conferences said that churches need to close. We were renting at a school, and the school system closed before the conferences even said that churches should close. So that left us having to really seriously consider an online option, and we've done that. We've made that shift, and it's been a challenge. It's been a wild ride, but God has been blessing. God has been blessing, and He has been working with us to be able to allow the saints to have an experience on Sabbath that is still bears some resemblance to what they're used to on a regular Sabbath. So I'm going to throw out the first question to the entire group. The first question to the entire group is live stream setup. What is it? Give us the basic components that someone would need for a live stream setup. I mean, I know that a phone could literally be all of it, start and finish. But if somebody wanted to do a little bit more, if they wanted to, a little more detail than just a phone, let me throw that out to the group. What would it be? Live stream setup. Talk to us. Not everybody at once.
Nobody want to give their secrets.
Yo,
Gary,
Gary, you should go,
We're talking
man.
basics now. We're talking
Nope.
basics right now.
Gary, you
Nope.
should go, Gary.
Nope. You go
You might have to
first.
pick somebody.
All right, I'll go.
I could give the basics and you guys take it away. You need
Go
a
ahead.
camera, you need a light,
Light, yeah.
and you need a microphone. Take it away, guys.
And a good microphone.
Yeah. No,
Good microphone.
you definitely need to get an internet connection.
Internet.
That's what you need to stream, because I mean, without the light, the microphone, and the camera, like seriously, your internet is very, very important for you to actually have. Definitely take a look in your areas the best to find the best service provider that you can to enable you to do what you need to do. So that's very, very important. I'm starting to see a shift in trying to get musicians to kind of communicate to each other, and definitely network is going to be at the forefront of that. So having a camera, having a light, let's go a little bit further, a video production switcher, whether you have an ATEM mini or an ATEM proper, or you big boy, you got a Ross or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you need an encoder, because you need to be able to get that content into something, whether it's a webcaster, whether it's that's by Epiphone, whether it's a webcaster or whether it's a self-built computer with OBS or whatever encoding software. You're going to need that to get your content polished and get out there. Or again, a platform like what we're using today, like a StreamYard or an ECAM, or there's so much more of those that actually do these things that run off of the web RTC backplane. So those are the things that you kind of need.
Yeah,
In a medium kind of way.
Yeah, and it all depends on budget too. Kind of some of the stuff that Gary was saying is he kind of ran the gamut of the spectrum of price, because not every church or not every organization has the budget to hit the high end. So you got to also factor in, like, what's my budget, and then figure out from where your budget is, okay, what equipment or tools do I need?
right. Budget is huge. BT.
Yeah, so I mean, you can go as simple as a cell phone using the Shure MV88 kit.
Okay.
You can use the Marantz Tourette, which gives you a good microphone, camera, and a ring light. And so it can be as simple as that, all the way to a 6 or 8 camera setup. It just depends on what your budget is and what your personnel that you have to help work with you.
Yeah, personnel is important.
Personnel
is important. You gotta have a team. So, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I think for me, I'll
or
talk from
Rohann, or you can be like Rohann and just bring out the full
Have the
production
truck.
truck.
Oh, come on, man.
Just bring
See,
out the
he the
production
show
truck.
No,
Right.
see,
Show
he
off.
he has an advantage of amongst everything that we do here. He has an advantage.
Oh, come on, man. I
is
got
true.
you.
We
on
don't
the
have
team,
we don't have that budget. I'm
Bro.
just saying.
man. Come on. I would say though, come on. It's important, I think, Kirk, to make sure that, especially for churches, I speak from a pastoral standpoint. If you're looking to go, it's important that you build team. I think you started with that, and that's very important, because that team becomes like a family, and you need that family, that commitment more than anything else, because this takes a lot of hard work, time, sacrifice to get everything working, and there's a lot that on the technical aspect. So find that for your, especially if you have pastors or spiritual leaders for your churches, find that commitment, build that team, and treat your media team well,
Yes.
because they sacrifice a lot to get things out. And oftentimes when it's done, you give all the thank yous to everybody, and you forget about the guys who actually make it work.
Guys and
And
girls.
they need to be felt. They need to be given that sense of appreciation also.
Valid points. All valid points. And Horane, was it Horane that said guys and girls? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make sure, because there are some ladies in this space as well, plenty. Absolutely, it's one of the things my pastor said to me recently was, COVID-19 has shined a floodlight on some of these technical skills and ability that God has blessed the body of Christ with. But not only the body of Christ, we're seeing technical skills on display everywhere. I mean, for our kids, for their school. Some of our schools are done, and we're thankful for that chapter to be closed. And we'll deal with it again in the fall. But then also for business, I mean, there's so many different people that are using these platforms, not just for church or not just to bring community together, but also for their business brands and for their organizations and all those kinds of things as well. So these tips and tricks are not particular to faith-based organizations. These are general, and I think it's well said that I think everybody agrees you got to have the team, and that's where it kind of begins. We want to go round robin, one sentence, everybody, starting with Kyle, coming around to Bryant Taylor. One sentence, your number one live streaming tip. Number one. Like if you could tell somebody one tip, then this tip is going to be, this is what you know from experience, that this is the tip that's going to be able to, give them a leg up in terms of having a quality production and maybe even avoiding some pitfall. What's your number one live streaming tip?
Number one tip is to not do anything that can disrupt your broadcast or live event during the event. So if you're working on your encoder or if you're using a computer to stream or something like that, don't touch the encoder. And of course, if you got your video, if you got your AV source from a switcher, or don't go behind the rack and start unplugging. That's not the time to do those things. If it's already live, let it be.
I think we're seeing from the responses, some people, you may have one or two witnesses.
No, I don't understand. I don't understand why Rohan's laughing, because we do it all the time. I don't get it. Like I don't understand why you laughing.
But it's a
my
good
goodness.
advice, because guess what? Sometimes
Then why do I have to do it?
you're not supposed to do it.
You're not
Because
supposed to.
Rohann don't want his name on it. That's why.
Exactly.
He's not supposed to do it.
Crazy. Okay.
one, Kyle.
Horane,
Good
give us a tip. Give us a tip.
Number one thing is do not panic. Something will always go wrong.
Yeah.
Keep a level head.
Keep a level head.
Amen.
Keep a level
Yeah.
head. I think we're gonna come back to you, Horane, because I think you have a story around that tip that we're gonna want to hear from. What was the name of the concert? The virtual concert. What was it called?
While I'm Waiting.
While I'm waiting. While I'm waiting. Yeah. We want to hear that story. All right. We're gonna come down to the bottom row. I'm hoping we're all looking at this the same way. Chaplain Rohann, let's hear your tip.
My number one tip would be prepare. Spend time in preparation, because once that clock starts, or once you go live, trust me, it's very unforgiving. So make sure you prepare.
Prepare. And sometimes you might have to add the little caveat that prepare as much as you are able to prepare, because sometimes we're asked to pull off a production with an hour of lead time. So I see some heads nodding. So I think maybe you might agree.
Less than an hour sometimes.
Less than an hour, sometimes 5 minutes. Let's just go live.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
minutes for me.
Like you're just pressing a button on the phone, right?
Yeah.
But I agree that if you are able to prepare, and sometimes you're preparing without even knowing when you're going to go live next. You just kind of get everything situated. It's like, well, we don't know what they're going to do, but at least we are prepared. That's a really good point. Gary, let's hear it.
Yo, I'm very much an advocate of backups. Always have a backup plan if something on the primary does not work. I did a concert, a virtual concert, pretty much with a replay of a concert that I did a couple of years ago. And during the very first part of it, my primary machine failed, and I had a friend of mine who was also getting the same signal that I had in New Jersey, kicked it on, so we didn't lose any of lose any of our viewers, and then I switched it back over to us to go back to the primary, and nobody knew. So it's very, very important to have some sort of a backup in place. Whether it's another computer with a camera that's pointed at whomever that if one goes down, you can fire that right back up, and while you work on the primary backup.
Gold. Now, folks, what you're hearing right now. You would have to pay for a class. You'd pay considerable money to get some of these tips, and we're hearing some good tips even in the comments as well. So we're gonna go to those in just a second. But we've got our man out west. We want to hear from him. What's your tip? Come on, BT. Let's hear it.
So mine is number one, make sure you're hardwired.
Hardwire. That's big.
Yeah. Number two, restart your router
Before the production.
before the production.
Not during.
Number three, reboot your computer before the production
Reboot.
and run a speed test.
Close out Premiere.
Yeah.
He's not. It's not fair. This is not a level playing field. You said one. You said one.
I'm sorry.
He said one, but not.
He said
This is
one.
true. This is true.
Hardwired.
This is
true.
Make sure you're
This is true.
hardwired.
See, the pastors don't be listening, man. The pastors don't be listening.
Look at that. So from the comments, practice. David Hunt says, practice your session beforehand. Practice your session beforehand. That is very valid. Learn to be Camille says, learn to be adaptive. If something happens during the program, quickly adapt. I think this touches on what Horane was saying as well. Communicate your expectations of each participant before starting your live stream. That's big. That's big. Oh, look at my guy.
Andy Russell?
Andy Russell's on here, man.
Legend, man. Legend.
Man, I might need to send you a link, get you in this conversation. I'm at work and someone just walked past my room and yelled, "Preach!" Oh my goodness. When they heard BT say, make sure you're hardwired. Look at that. So no, these are valid points. The follow up that we're also going to do round robin, and maybe some of you don't have an example to share, maybe. But I'm gonna let me preface this by saying, okay. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do live stream horror stories. Okay, we're gonna share horror stories that has happened live. Okay, so we're gonna share that, but I would ask the panel to be selective in some of the details you're sharing in terms of the name of the place, the location, or whoever was working. Let's be generic. Let's just say
Why we gotta be?
Nah.
Why we gotta be?
Bro, it's on the internet. It's on the internet. It's already out there.
I say we gonna air people out today.
Oh boy.
I say
You
air
gonna
them out.
learn today.
Okay. In this round, we're gonna go the opposite direction. BT, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with BT, and we're gonna go around from there. So BT, horror stories.
So the horror story was I was producing a show, and I went to do something else, and I ended the show while it was live. Luckily, I had a backup host, so it kept running, and nobody knew that I had actually cut the show out.
See, backups.
That is crazy. But
It
so
was
while that is
terrifying.
a horror story, that ended well. I don't know, man. I don't think that's the definition
doesn't
of the
count.
horror story we're
Yeah.
looking for, man.
That doesn't count.
That you see, Horane, do I have a witness? That's not
count.
no. That actually worked out
Horane
well.
said that doesn't count.
No.
I got
BT, we're coming back to you.
I got a good one.
All
I got a
right.
good one, and I'm gonna tell you.
It's your turn. It's your turn. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
and see, I listen. So I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago at camp meeting, right? At camp meeting, I do the camp meeting for the Northeastern Conference. I've been doing it for about 10 years or so, or probably more than that. So, we get on the campsite. Now we have to transform a hangar or a giant barn into an actual worship
Station,
space.
yeah.
And if you ever been there before, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So we transform it, we hang the lights, we hang, the PA system, we hang screens. It's a very arduous, it's just a bit, it's a bit much. We have to bring the production truck.
Wow.
It's crazy. So, we go to actually start live streaming, and we tested it on Friday night, the day before. Internet was good. Next day, right in the middle of the entire broadcast, Optimum tripped the internet. Gone. So that was a horror story. So the issue with it was, I want to say, no, I do know. Their router, they had a home-based router in an industrial space.
Enterprise.
So a lot of
Overheated.
so no, it's not even over. It just got a whole bunch of dust and nasty stuff inside of it. So I had to pull that router, throw my router personally in place, and then got it back connected so we could actually have service. So everybody was calling. So like during that time, and it kind of goes to the same thing that Horane was saying, is like, you don't panic. You got to systematically go through it. So now, not only that I got to do that, I still got to manage the production truck to where it's still producing the internal feel and making sure the recording is good, because we need to be able to put that back.
Right.
So that was a real crazy horror story. But needless to say, that's never happened again. We test from Thursday. I mean, I usually get there on Thursday, and I'll make sure I'm testing from Thursdays straight back.
See, you're skipping ahead, man, because that was the next piece that I want to circle back to after we go through the live stream horror stories, is those things that we've learned from the story.
Sorry.
Because I'm certain that, just like you said, I mean, hey, you go through an experience like that, you check 5 times, you check 10 times before you let something like that happen again. So that's phenomenal. I mean, we thank you for that story, Gary.
Yeah, for everybody. One thing I'm saying, like, for everybody's going to probably, like, regardless of what happens with everybody. Now, once your name gets involved with anything, then it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's your fault. No matter what, anything happens, it was your fault. So definitely make sure you got your stuff.
You get that look.
Yeah, but Gary doesn't get it, because Gary ends up telling the story that he was able to fix it, man. So yeah, Horane, come on, Horane. Come on, man.
It happened.
But it happened. He actually lost signal though.
Yeah. See, in BT's story,
He turned it off himself.
unaffected.
Actually, so he's usually talking about the same production truck. So I'll tell you 2 short ones, quick. I was doing a live at a church, and it was a Spanish live series I was doing, and we tested everything, getting ready to go live, and we go live. Like less than 10 minutes into the live, the internet stream cuts.
Stream cut.
And there is nothing we can do to get the internet to work again. And the whole stream for that now. So my phone starts blowing up. People start calling because they can't get the connection, man. You don't want to have that feeling. It's like the worst feeling ever when you're like, man, everything is connected. Everything is working. I tested everything. What happened? And actually, the Ethernet port failed. And at that time,
on the router.
And the router.
On the router. Not the truck. On the router.
Not the truck, but the router. But those things do happen. I'll give you the last one. Quick. Last week I was doing the live series, and Gary and then my backup for my redundancy. So Gary calls me. I call Gary about something, and I say, Gary says, "Man, I'm tired, man. I'm going to my bed." I say, "All right, bro, you're off." So Gary goes to sleep. I'm doing the program, so I'm hosting the program. I'm switching the program and everything, though. Dwight Nelson finishes preaching, and I'm getting to the end. I see my computer beginning to crash. And Horane says, "Stay cool." That's when I start losing it. I'm trying to click, and I'm trying to save it. And it just goes boom. There's no Gary on the other side. But luckily, I had another computer on my side here, because we always have like triple redundancies.
Have a backup.
Like triple redundancies. So I just switched over, and I was like able to direct on the other end without even going back on camera. But you gotta have redundancies there.
Listen,
Yes, Lord.
There might even be a sermon in there. No, I'm just.
Come on now.
Horane. Let's hear your horror story. Hopefully, it's not from this past weekend.
Well, I'll give you a little bit about this past week. But
Okay.
mine happened 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Bro, So we're having service. It was Mother's Day, and like service is going awesome. Everybody's enjoying it. You know, it's amazing. Like I'm running through the service like really good. So we get to the sermon, and pastor's going. Bro, he disappears in the middle of a sermon. Gone. So my wife, because we were doing service from my house, so I have an on-air stage in the basement, so I have her jump on. It's like, yo, just keep talking. She came back off, and the mic was still on, so I didn't realize it was a hot mic. So I'm calling one of my elders, is like, bro, I need you to get your computer on right now and come online and preach. Mom, yo, and that is going out to the world.
Have mercy.
Turn off your mic, Horane. Just turn off
Bro.
the mic. You have to turn off the mic, man.
Because Chanel had
Not
put
the
the
hot
mic down, I didn't
not the hot
realize.
mic.
Turn off the mic,
my.
man. Turn off
Bro,
the
so
mic.
I'm on the phone with my elder Reynard, and I'm like, bro, get your computer. He's in the background scrambling to put clothes on.
Mercy.
Because, you know, so the delay is crazy, right? So, you know, they're 15 to 20 seconds behind. So I'm calling him, and his wife is like, yeah, the stream just went out. And he's like, I know, he's calling me right now. So, bro, we were calling Pastor. Pastor's like preaching a whole sermon by himself, bro. Like,
Oh,
Pastor
no.
calls me back when Reynard is done preaching.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. Bro,
This.
it was insane.
So he finished preaching the whole sermon.
I think
He
you
preached
get
the
the
whole
prize.
sermon.
You get
So he
the
never
he
prize.
didn't
knew.
realize he was not connected.
He never knew. Oh,
My
But
goodness.
I was just like, yo, I'm calling, like, Sean was calling him, like, bro, he came back on when Reynard was done preaching.
Is
I texted Gary, yo, and Kirk, I think I told you too.
You did tell me. That's why I was saying. As soon as you started saying the story, I
Oh,
was like,
man.
oh, yes.
Yo, you gotta have a backup preacher. I got a backup preacher too.
Reynard was my backup preacher. 3 minutes, yo.
You gotta have a backup.
Came on and
No, we
killed
we
it.
keep it hot. We keep it hot.
Backup preacher.
Backup preacher. Backup
I
everything.
mean, I have some backups, but I don't have a backup preacher. That
Yeah, you
is
can have
new.
backup for everything, but preachers, yo, they're not like a
I
dime a dozen, man.
got two.
You got two
You're
backup
lucky,
preachers.
Gary.
I know. I have my senior pastor and I have an associate. So
There you go. There you go.
No, but,
there you go.
but that's serious though, you know, because we were doing our lives the other day. One of us had to be designated. If the stream cuts, you preaching or I preaching, somebody's got to jump in.
See, somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got to do something. Kyle, man, horror story. We're gonna get this horror story, and then we're gonna move into this other section. Come on.
Okay. 12 years ago at a camp meeting in the Midwest.
In the Midwest, we're being
the
generic.
Midwest.
Yes.
It was either the Friday before Sabbath service, or I think it was the day of the Sabbath service. We're streaming, everything's fine, the event's perfect. Either someone was putting up a tent, or one of the stakes came out of the tent, so they were putting it back. And of course, we're at a campground. Nothing's labeled. There's no anything. So we got a fiber cable. We got a fiber cable that runs from the front of the campground where the internet is,
Finished.
glory.
the high school, to the
Glory.
open
Cut.
garage where we do our production.
Oh.
Someone took that 3-inch spike and boom, right into the ground, right through the fiber,
Wow.
cut it.
Wow.
And that fiber is still broken to this day. So that event, the rest of that camp meeting and the
this
following
day.
ones never got broadcast.
yikes.
Oh my
Wow.
word. So between you and Horane, I don't know which one really is worse.
I mean,
Y'all
he has
won.
longevity, yo, because
That is a
Y'all
disaster.
won. Y'all won.
Wow.
I don't want to be in that one.
No.
Yeah, Kyle.
Fiber is no
Kyle
joke,
won.
man.
In times like those, you have to maintain your spiritual composure.
And I wasn't even the upset one, you know. The director was sky high.
Why?
So,
Oh
and
my
you can
goodness.
imagine that it's in the boonies.
Yeah.
So to
ain't
get
nobody
somebody
terminating the fiber out there.
who's coming 150 miles,
No.
60 miles, you know, that
No.
bill was astronomical. So
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh my word. Wow, what a story. Folks, we're gonna our episode today is sponsored sponsored by ECAM Live Pro. We're going to play a quick little video just kind of detailing a little bit about ECAM Live Pro, and we're going to give you some details on how you can be selected for one full year of Live Pro subscription. So we're going to play that video right now.
ECAM Live is a powerful, professional live video production platform for Mac. Connect easily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Periscope, and begin live streaming instantly to your profile, business page, or groups. Broadcasting from your Mac means the power to use your professional camera and mics, and easily connect your iPhone camera. If you have a Canon DSLR camera, you'll only need a USB cable to start broadcasting. Add Skype guests to your live stream with one click. ECAM Live becomes your own personal production studio with a live camera switcher and split screen mode. Rolling an intro video or a pre-recorded segment is as simple as dragging it into the app. You can also stream your Mac's desktop and comment live with picture-in-picture mode. Add a professional touch to your live stream by adding logos, lower thirds, countdowns, and text. Change your background with our studio-quality green screen feature. Read viewers' comments and reactions right here in the app. Even add a comment right into your broadcast. Leverage our integration with Restream or Switchboard to stream simultaneously to multiple platforms. And with built-in support for Restream's chat aggregation, ECAM Live can even display chat comments from over 20 platforms. And when the show is done, a high-quality recording is already saved on your Mac. ECAM Live, your instant, powerful live video production studio for Mac. Download ECAM Live's free trial to get started today.
All right. ECAM Live. I have used it multiple times. It's a great platform. It is. You can have multiple participants on the platform as well by using Skype, which some people like, some people don't. But we are privileged to be able to give away a subscription, a 1-year subscription of ECAM Live Pro to the winning viewer. Now we're going to announce the winning viewer on our show next week. You didn't think we were going to announce it today, did you? Come on. You had to know that you were going to have to tune in next week. And so the criteria to win, just two simple steps. One, subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/Kirk Nugent. I'm pausing for effect right now, just because if you're on howitallworks.com, the button is literally right below the live stream video. It's right below the live stream viewer.
Did you just say Kirk Nugent?
Kirk R. Nugent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then number 2, like our Facebook page, facebook.com/howitallworks. Works is spelled with an E. And we can tell. We're monitoring to see.
Get them numbers up, bro.
And so once on Wednesday, we will do a random drawing from new subscriptions, people who have met both criteria, and we will announce next Monday who is the winner of 1-year subscription of ECAM Live Pro. Next Monday, we are going to be discussing the photographer's delight. And so this is the flyer for next Monday. We will have Anthony Corns, Chip Dizard, Chris McNish, Gianna Snell, and Neville Simpson. These are all photographers from various parts of the country, and we're going to be chopping up photographer's delight. What makes the photographer excited? How does photography fit into the broader scheme of things? The photographer's delight. Monday, June 1st, 2 p.m. right here on How It All Works. Now, we're going to dive right back into our discussion. Where are we at here? We're at the 15-minute mark. So I have one or two other questions, but it sounded to me like we had some stories that we wanted to share. Horane, you had one, it sounded like. Please, yeah. let's go ahead and dive in. So Horane, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, Horane and his team did a virtual concert this past Saturday afternoon. That was phenomenal. I would love to hear what your viewer numbers were, man, because I was following along. And I know on one channel on you, how many channels were you guys streaming to? Talk to us, bro. Talk to us.
We were streaming to 5 different places. So Metropolitan has two Facebook pages, a private and a public page, or a profile page and a public page, and we also have our YouTube channel. No, so we have more than 5. And then
Mercy.
we were also on Church of the Oranges YouTube as well as their Facebook, so that's 5. And we were also on Salem French's YouTube page for their church, as well as the Haitian Federation page. So 7. Yeah, 7.
Okay, so pushing
and
to 7
then-
sources.
Yeah, 7 independent, but then Facebook has the feature of watch parties, so like those
Yes.
don't get counted. So I'm not sure. But our total peak numbers were 2,250 something, somewhere around there, like
Wow.
peak concurrent of the
Wow.
numbers that we could measure. And obviously they're the watch parties and stuff like that. I don't know, but when I looked at the numbers for the total views last night, we were at 9,000 on our regular Metro page and 4,000 on the public page, 4,000 on YouTube, and 7,000 on Church of the Oranges. So it looks like it got far. I had people in London calling me, and in French Guyana, which is somewhere down South America-ish. But yeah, so the story,
Yeah. Let's hear the story. Let's hear the
quite
story.
interesting. So Jonathan McReynolds and I were supposed to do a test on Thursday night, but he couldn't do the
See,
test.
see. We're back to our tips now. We're back to our
so-
tips. Gotta verify.
That didn't happen. And then we rolled into the concert. So we had a 5-minute or 4.5-minute pre-roll. We were doing a tribute to the frontline workers because, in our churches we have a lot of frontline workers. So we just put a quick video together of all the frontline workers from the different churches and stuff. So that was our lead up to the 5 o'clock mark. But in doing that, I had a 4:30 call time where everybody was supposed to call in at 4:30 so they could be in the virtual green room. Jonathan McReynolds was having some issues, as well as another young lady, Samantha. She was going to be one of our interviewed guests, so that didn't happen. So she called in, but we were having just lots of technical issues on her side. Again, internet, being hardwired, plugged in. Like, she was on her phone with her Wi-Fi, and she's very far on the other side of the room, and RF signals fall off. I'm getting too technical, but anyway.
No.
That didn't. I'll
This is
come
the
back
show
to
for
that.
it.
I'll come back to that because somebody called me and asked me why I didn't edit that out. But I'll come back to that in a second. So yeah. So bro, I hit play. I'm live. At 4:55, Jonathan McReynolds' manager calls me. He's like, "Yo, can I conference you in with him because he can't get his stuff to work." The show is running. I'm queuing Reynard, my host. I'm on the phone with Jonathan McReynolds and his manager, trying to get him to dial in. I'm walking him through how to set up the laptop because the phone wasn't working, and I'm switching at the same time. I'm talking to the remote guest because I have a live interview coming right as Reynard comes on. So, as if you were watching from the beginning, Reynard's audio wasn't working because I'm trying to build Jonathan's preset at the same time and not realizing that when I brought him in, I killed his audio. So, dude, like, it was just absolute nightmare. Yeah.
Man.
We made it happen.
Listen, and this is your guest in fear says the backstory.
Yeah,
Hashtag
my
while
dude
I'm
guest
waiting.
on, like he
Man.
was holding me down in the he actually is the youth pastor of Church of the Oranges. So he and I were the ones kind of we were chatting it up in the backstage because he was the one solid constant. He's seen everything that's going on, and he's like watching the show because I'm feeding them a fullback to him. So he's seeing the show, and he's like, "Dude, how are you even doing this?" So he
Listen,
saw
man.
the whole thing. But jumping a little bit to, so I got some feedback from folks, obviously, and somebody was like, "Hey, one of the things I wasn't sure about is like, why didn't you edit that out where the young lady, kind of interrupted the flow because you couldn't get her to work?" I was like, "This is live, guys. Like, once it happens, there's no
Yeah.
going back. Like,
Yeah.
there's no post." So, just some of the things that
Some of the videos
people don't
were-
realize.
Some of the videos you played were pre-recorded, but
Yeah, so
majority
all of the music itself was pre-produced. Oh, I have a story about that.
Mercy.
So Metro's video actually got exported at 4:35 on Saturday afternoon. because my brother-in-law had to fix something in our mix, and he sent it back to me, and I got to church and I bounced it out. So it was, yeah.
Wow, you guys, man. If the story doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat, at the minimum, it should at least allow you to have a better appreciation for what your media folks go through. Whether you're in an organization, institution, whether you're in higher ed, doesn't matter really. Nonprofit, faith-based. If you've got somebody who's managing your production, managing your live stream, these stories your people will immediately resonate with, because they probably have a version of these stories for themselves. And man, wow, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing with us those stories. I want to touch on. I want to try and grab one of these questions for the panel. If we can just touch it real quick, and then we're going to do some shameless plugs, and we're going to bid our farewell. Let's see here. Where is your best investment made? Equipment, personnel, or content? Where's your best investment made? Equipment, personnel, or content? And if you feel your best investment is not on that list, then feel free to add something else in. But when you're talking about media, production, broadcast, live streaming, where is the best investment made? Folks are out here buying all kinds of gear. Heard somebody say on a live stream on just this past Sabbath, where they talked about gas. You know, folks have gas, gear acquiring syndrome, and so they just walk around with gas all day. So I said, but it doesn't always come down to the best gear. Am I correct? So where is the best investment made? Somebody's watching right now. They want to know.
Rohann, you should take that one.
Yeah, you know. Man, let me tell you, I'm anxious to answer that one. Let me tell you why. I spent about $390-something thousand in equipment to renovate our production truck. And that's small in comparison to what the big trucks. The big trucks, one camera is like, they sent over $500,000 in the camera. Okay, so I spent $300,000 and renovated a truck, brought it up to HD. And the truck is all set and ready to go. Do it 4K ready. I've got all the works, everything going, broadcast stuff. Guess what? Truck is parked. Can't do anything. The greatest investment you could ever do is invest in people. The people, personnel, because I'm telling you, and in genuine relationships with these folk. And it's not just because I've helped to build some folk who have not been the sharpest, and I take them with the right attitude. If they have the right attitude and the willingness to learn, invest in them. And I tell you, I did the last series just last week, this live series right here, right out of my home here, and I had all these support systems with people online, some of them watching now. And listen, I never had to call anybody and remind them of their time. I never had to call anybody to tell them to do anything. Everybody knew what they needed to do. And without any cause, without any prompting, they went and did their stuff, reported in, and everything went well. People. And when they're done, call them and say thank you. When they're done, take them out for dinner, give them something to eat, and treat them nicely. When they're done, put a little change in their pocket. Yes, I said that. Put a little change in their pocket.
Yes.
Speak on it, Pastor. That's a word right there.
Come on,
church,
come on.
say amen.
We ready to go now.
Amen.
Where the organ at? Who got the organ?
I got my logic behind me. I got my logic behind me.
Hand. Have mercy.
Say thank you, man.
Say thank you. That's in the comments. You should see the comments right now. The comments are going crazy.
You know what I
the
mean?
right crew can take you far.
Yeah.
Mentorship is key.
And let me tell you something. And if you want people to sacrifice for you, treat them well. Let them feel appreciated. If they feel appreciated, they go the 1,000 miles for you, man.
That's facts.
I don't think you'll find any argument. You were the right person to answer that question, Rohann. Thank you so much for that. No problem. Thank you so much for that. We wanna take a minute to allow folks to tell people where they can find you. So we're gonna go around, starting with Kyle. We're gonna give your handle, give your hustle, give your business, give your thing, whatever you are, wherever people can find you or they can support you. Let's do that right now.
I'm an independent contractor currently. I work for a company called DSS, Digital Support Systems. We do um, surveillance, cloud-based access control, and we do AV installation consultation as well. Uh, we go to Canada, all the United States, South America, overseas, wherever you need. So you can find us at digitalsupportsystems.com. I'm also an open gear operator for Ross Video. So if you need help with your Ross switches or routers, you can give me a call. And my social media is KyleTD55. If you need any of that, just find me. I'll be there.
Okay. Kyle TD55. And is that on Facebook? Where's that? Or is it on all
I believe
platforms?
that's Instagram, that's Twitter, Kyle Davis on Facebook, or you can email me,
Got it.
Kyle Davis at Proton, actually K Davis at
Look at
digitalsupportsystems.com.
that. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Horane.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram. It's Horane_Henry. So HORANE_Henry. Also got to plug one of my businesses, the Cool Reads. So we are an educational company for minorities. So basically, my business partner, she is a teacher in New York. And she said that one of the things that prompted her to start the company was there's no representation for people that look like us.
Wow.
So we're pretty much we're just going into our second year. So we finished our first year. We have a book out on Amazon, and it's received pretty good feedback. So it's the Cool Reads. The Reads is spelled REEDS. So the THECOOL REEDS on Instagram and everywhere else.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Chaplain, talk to us. How can people find you?
Easiest way, you can find me on Facebook, Rohann Wellington. Just put my name in, ROHANN, 2 N's, and you'll find me, because there's another Rohann Wellington who works in media, who's a friend of mine also, with 1 N. For those of you who are in the Atlantic Union territory, I'm the managing director for the Atlantic Union Adventist Media. And if you're interested in giving support to the team, we have a great team. We're always looking for people to come on after we get out of this COVID crisis and we're back out on the streets. So if you're interested in doing so, you can send me an email. You can email me at rwellington@gnyc.org or rwellington@atlanticunion.org. And either emails you can get to me.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Yes,
Oh,
sir. Gary.
And I do work for the church, so I don't get paid for any of these things, but I do training for you guys. But if you want somebody who you can hire to get it done, that's the next guy that's about to speak.
Come on. Let's talk, Gary. Let's talk, Gary.
I just gave a plug for you, bro.
Yeah, boy. Okay.
El
Well,
Maestro.
my name, you guys, most people kind of know where you can find me at Praise Vision. For those who want to know me personally, it's Gary Saunders on Facebook. I really kind of don't do too much and plug what I'm doing behind the scenes, but you could definitely check that out. I do have something special that I'm working on right now. Two things. One is on the technical side, and the other thing is on the more of a production side, because Praise Vision, we transformed our company from just streaming to do productions, and one of these cool things that we're working on is a show. I'm just going to give you the name of the show. It's called Rain Check, but definitely check it out when it comes out. It's going to be something that is both entertaining and no, it's entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining.
Come on, it's entertaining.
Spill the beans, guys. Spill the beans.
No. It's going to be very, very entertaining.
Did I spell that right? Rain at Praise Vision. Did I spell that right, Gary? What's on the screen?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right. I gotta look down here, but yeah,
Okay.
Rain Check is
Rain
definitely
Check.
going to be coming out. It's going to be something that's very, very entertaining. It's kind of going outside of the Christian realm to a more production stuff. So I'm just kind of stepping out of that Christian
little bit.
realm to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
doing
yeah.
things. Yeah. I want to see how I shape up against the big boys.
Mercy. That's gonna go down good.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
yeah.
BT, let's hear it. Where can people find you, BT?
Well,
What are you working on
yeah,
these
it's
days?
just interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Gary's measuring himself against himself. I want to see how I shape up against the big boys, and he is the big boy. But we're gonna leave that right there. But you can find me on Twitter at
He talking about
at
height, y'all. He talking about
Dr.
height.
_tech.
Say it one more time, BT.
Yeah, Dr. BT _tech. You can find me on Twitter,
Okay.
or you can
Okay.
find me on Facebook, Bryant Taylor. But that's the easiest places to find me.
Okay. All right. All right. There
And
they are.
and tell Melissa Gates yes.
Tell Melissa Gates yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Melissa
Question
Gates.
Internship.
she asked, internship.
The Miss Gates.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Internships for us in the Atlantic Union University, we do also. We've done it in the past. So I don't know where that person is, but if they do, we do internships.
Excellent. Excellent. Folks,
I think we all do.
We appreciate
Tell
you
the person
taking
I
the time to
tell the
taking
person
some
I have
time.
palm trees and
You got palm trees out there, huh?
Ain't nobody coming over there.
I was gonna tell them I got palm trees and beaches.
Ain't nobody coming over there, BT.
Wow. Folks, we are at the end of our time together. I know that there's some questions that we were unfortunately unable to get to, but I am going to follow up with every question that was placed in the chat. So if you have some questions that you want followed up on, place them in the chat at this time. Again, want to just ask for those who came in a little later, didn't hear the plug in terms of what we're giving away for free. We're asking two things. We're asking that you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Kirk_Nugent, and like the page, facebook.com/howitallworks. We are at the end of our time together, and I want to just say a word of thanks to our panel. You guys have been phenomenal, and you just pouring out so much of your experience and so much of your wisdom, taking this time out on the Memorial Day to just hang out here with me and kind of break down what it is to live stream, what it is to do production and broadcast, and kind of figure out how it all works. Next week, next Monday at 2 p.m., we will have Photographer's Delight, and we want you to join us for that. We'll also be announcing the winner of the 1-year subscription of ECAM Pro live. And that brings us to the end of our program. Again, I want to say a word of thanks to everyone for being with us, hanging with us, and taking this journey with us as we figure out how it all works. Take care, fam.